In this segment, I'm going to go over the process that one customer follows to prepare one type of pre-sort mailing. First, I want you to meet our customer who is preparing a standard mailing. Before our customer can mail at any pre-sorted standard mail rates, however, some decisions have to be made. She will have to choose how to pay for the postage. She must apply for a valid mailing permit. And she must clearly understand how to properly prepare the mail for the category of pre-sort desired. So to obtain more information, our customer visits the local post office where she will be depositing her mail. She describes to the clerk the type of mailing she has planned. The clerk explains the different postage payment methods that are available: pre-canceled stamps, permit imprints, or postage meter. Our customer decides to go with a permit imprint. Each mail piece sent under this method must bear a permit imprint indicia showing that the postage is paid. The clerk then gives her Form 3615, mailing permit application and customer profile to fill out. After our customer has completed the application, the clerk will ask for 2 forms of identification. After the ID check, the mailing permit is approved and our customer pays the one-time application fee as well as any appropriate annual fee. An advanced deposit account is also opened where funds can be deposited to pay for permit imprint mailings. Our customer also discusses with the clerk the proper way to pre-sort her particular standard mailing and whether or not a non-machinable surcharge will apply. Her mailing will consist of over 200 pieces of normal letter-size mail with machine-printed addresses. All pieces will be identical in weight and weigh no more than 3.3 ounces. Since the planned mailing does not meet any of the criteria for the non-machinable surcharge and the customer did not specify manual handling, the clerk determines her mailing is eligible for the standard mail, pre-sorted letters, machinable category. He also refers her to the USPS Quick Service Guidebook and points out that Quick Service Guide 631 will guide her in the proper way to prepare her mailing for standard mail, pre-sorted letters, machinable. While still at the post office, our customer picks up some free supplies that she will need to properly prepare her mail for pre-sort. These supplies include labels, labeling lists, postage statements, rubber bands, sacks, and trays. If our customer was preparing a mailing of flats, she would load her mail into sacks. But with letters, she will pre-sort her mail into trays. There are 3 types of trays available, and I'm sure you're familiar with them all: the 1-foot tray, the 2-foot regular tray, and the 2-foot extended mail tray. The mailer uses the appropriate tray based on the amount of mail and the physical characteristics of the mail piece. And it's important to understand the definition of a full tray. A full tray is one that when tilted at a 45-degree angle, the mail inside, compressed by its own weight, fills at least 3/4 of the tray. This description applies no matter what size tray you're using. And another thing you should understand, during the pre-sort process, mail is sometimes combined into packages. That's just a postal term for a handful of mail held together with rubber bands. When a customer makes a package of mail, all the addresses should face in the same direction. Letter packages should be about 4 inches in thickness and never more than 6 inches. And a mailer should use 2 rubber bands to secure a package. The rubber bands are applied length first, and then girth or width second. For any package less than 1 inch thick, only 1 rubber band is used around the girth. Okay, our customer is back at her office. Her mailing is ready to go, and she is about to begin pre-sorting her mail. The first thing our customer does is group her mail by 3-digit zip code prefix. And by the way, 3-digit always refers to the first 3 digits of the zip code, not the last 3 digits. Our customer begins by pre-sorting her mail starting with the optional 3-digit origin tray. These trays do not have to be full, and mail in less than full trays must be packaged. Our customer does have 70 pieces of origin mail that she will package and put into a tray. The customer keeps an ongoing tally sheet showing the zip code, the number of pieces, and the tray type. Our customer counts and records the number of pieces in this 3-digit origin tray on her tally sheet. Each label has 3 lines. She chooses the correct label for this tray. The top line of the label shows the destination facility, state, and the zip code. The bottom line of the label shows the amount of mail. The clerk then checks the destination facility, state, and the 3-digit zip code area. The second line is the content line. Standard letters sorted to a 3-digit level, and the mail type is machinable. And the bottom line shows the city and state where the mail originated. This label is then slipped into the front of the tray. Next up, in this required step, our customer will pre-sort her mail going to a particular Automated Area Distribution Center, or AADC. AADCs sort mail for several different 3-digit zip code areas grouped by 3-digit zip code prefix. Each AADC must have its own tray. Using labeling list L801, our customer finds all the 3-digit zip code areas going to the same AADC. In this example, our customer has enough 3-digit pieces all going to the same AADC to fill one tray. She counts the number of AADC pieces, in this case 160, and records the number on her tally sheet. Our customer chooses the correct tray label for the AADC tray based on the destination facility. The top line of the label shows the AADC destination facility, state, and the 3-digit zip code area. The second line is content. Standard letters sorted to an AADC, and the mail type is machinable. Bottom line, the city and state where the mail originated. The label is then slipped into the front of the tray. And finally, our customer will make up a mixed AADC tray. In this required step, the customer places all the remaining pieces into mixed AADC trays. Mail in mixed AADC trays is grouped by AADC. These trays do not have to be full. However, only one less than full or overflow tray is permitted. Our customer has only 100 pieces of mixed AADC mail, not enough to make a full tray, so she will package this mail first and then place it into a mixed AADC tray. The customer makes a note of the number of mixed AADC pieces in this tray on the tally sheet. In this example, 100 pieces. She then chooses the correct pre-printed tray label for the mixed AADC tray. The top line should read MXD, the destination facility, the state, and 3-digit zip code area. The second line is content. In this case, standard letters, machinable, and working. That is, these need to be worked or sorted. And bottom line, the city and state where the mail originated. The label is then slipped into the front of the tray. Mail in this mixed AADC tray qualifies for the standard mail basic letter rate. All right, the pre-sorting, traying, and labeling is complete. But I want to add, if this mailing is going out of the customer's service area, the customer may need to add a sleeve to all the trays and secure the tray with a single plastic strap around the length. Different areas have slightly different requirements in this regard, so check with your local SCF. Welcome back. We still have quite a bit of material to get through, so here we go. Earlier, our customer pre-sorted her letters into trays and then labeled and prepared the trays for transit. The next step a mailer takes is filling out the appropriate postage statement. There are several different forms available depending on the rate category and the type of mailing. Our customer correctly chooses a postage statement that matches the type of mailing she has prepared. In this example, Form 3602-EZ. Form 3602-EZ is a simplified postage statement designed specifically for mailers who mail standard mail letters or flats and are paying via permit imprint exactly like our example today. Our customer completes the entire postage statement by filling out all the information requested. Information like the permit holder's name and address, the permit number, the mailing date, the post office where you are dropping off your mailing, the processing category, in this case letters, the number of containers, the weight of a single piece of mail in decimal pounds to 4 digits, the total pieces in the entire mailing, and the total weight. In this example, the mail is permit imprint, so all the pieces must be identical in weight. So to get the total weight, our customer simply multiplies the weight of a single piece by the total number of pieces. Next, our customer fills out the postage computation area on the form. In this case, since our customer doesn't qualify for any destination entry discounts, she will use the area marked none to calculate the postage. Our customer uses her tally sheet to enter the number of pieces that qualify for the standard mail 3/5 letter rate and the number that qualify for the standard mail basic rate. The customer then multiplies the rate per piece times the number of pieces and enters that postage in the total column. Then our customer adds the rows in the total column and writes down the total postage for the entire mailing. You'll notice our customer leaves the gray total adjusted postage line empty. That line is reserved for the Postal Service to make adjustments if necessary. We'll talk more about that later when we get into the verification process. Our customer then signs the statement in the certification area, which indicates the mail has been prepared correctly. And lastly, our customer includes her phone number in case the post office has to contact her with any questions or concerns about the mailing. Now, our customer is ready to bring her mailing to the local post office for acceptance and verification. Okay, you may ask, do I really need to know all this information about preparing pre-sort mailings? It's a challenge, yes, but you will do just fine as you learn more and more about bulk business mail and the discount rate options available for customers. Also remember, there's the Quick Service Guidebook and many other postal publications available to help you understand bulk business mail. Use them. You will need them. So get the ones you need from either the post office or download them if you can from the internet at USPS.com. Welcome back. Are we having fun yet? I hope you answered yes to that. Okay, now it's showtime. Our customer brings her pre-sort mailing into her local post office for acceptance and verification. Remember, in our example, the postage type is permit imprint, so you must also check that there are enough funds in the customer's advance deposit account to cover the postage cost of the mailing. The customer can also pay when depositing the mailing. Next, take a look at the customer's postage statement to make sure it is properly completed. Since this is standard mail, pre-sort letters, machinable, check to see there are at least 200 pieces or 50 pounds of mail in the mailing. Open one tray and then open one letter to verify that the contents are indeed eligible for the postage rate claimed. In our example, standard mail. Look at the mail piece and see what type of postage is being used. Is the postage paid by permit imprint, postage meter, or pre-canceled stamps? Since our example is permit imprint, do all the pieces appear identical in weight? Does the mail piece meet the physical standards for mailing? In other words, is it within the proper dimensions to be considered a letter? If in doubt, use the letter size mail dimensional standards template to check the dimensions. Is the piece machinable or non-machinable? Does it require a non-machinable surcharge? Are the letters correctly marked, in our example, as pre-sorted standard? Are there any other endorsements used, such as address service requested? And are they in the proper location? It's important that if a customer uses an endorsement, that they know where it should go on the mail piece and what it means. Check the basic preparation. Are all the pieces in the same processing category? Are the pieces correctly separated by rate category with the correct rate or indicia on each piece? Check any packaging. Are the letter packages 6 inches or less in thickness and securely rubber banded? Are all the pieces properly faced the same way? Check the labeling. Does the label content line match the actual mail? Is it the correct label for the class of mail and level of pre-sort claimed? In general, check the contents of the trays to make sure the right mail is in the right tray as it's labeled. Is the mailing container correct for the type of mail? For example, letters in trays, flats in sacks. The verification is now complete. Yes! We covered a lot of material today, and I hope you have a better understanding of how a typical small mailer prepares a pre-sort mailing and how the post office verifies bulk business mail. Today, we concentrated on one type of pre-sort process, but there are many others, and there are always exceptions to every case. You can't learn it all in just one day, but as time goes on, don't worry. you'll get it. Soon, you'll be the expert when it comes to business mail entry at your post office. Remember, there are a lot of resources out there to help you do your job. You should always have on hand the latest updated domestic mail manual, which is available in hard copy or on the web at USPS.com. Don't forget the Quick Service Guidebook, available at USPS.com or from the post office. It's important that you use the Quick Service Guide. It's invaluable. In general, USPS.com is the most current and the most comprehensive source of postal information out there. I strongly suggest getting hooked up to the web if you're not already. For the Postal Service, I'm Tony Hill.